HDtracks Master Musicians. I started in '76. I was an engineer in '78, and I decided to just stick to mixing, starting in officially '91, where I wouldn't take on any other projects. But realistically, I've been mixing since '78. First record was actually turned out to be the first record that I recorded and mixed, so it was very exciting. It was Luther Vandross, the Never Too Much record. There's probably a fair amount of examples, but the one that comes to mind would be Fix You with Coldplay, because it was going to start out very quiet and get very, very big. And the challenge there, because I really only have maybe 3 dB of dynamic window, was how to make that just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so when the drums and the bass and the chorus came in, how to just keep that getting larger and larger. So that I felt was the most challenging. I'm mixing for everything. I want anything that I mix to sound great on a great system. But I also recognize that it has to sound good on earbuds and a tiny system. I spend a good part of the time mixing through my little boombox, and when it sounds good on that, it's going to sound good everywhere. My use of compression works well with what happens once MP3 takes it over. So I've adapted without any pain. It's there. It's available. That's how I'm mixing it. I'm mixing it because I want to enjoy it. And I don't like to enjoy it at low resolution and over compressed. And I don't think really anyone does. And I think people who don't even know technically what that is, if it's over compressed or low resolution, they're gonna say, wow, this doesn't feel as good. Yeah, that's all you need to know. I love having an analog desk. I love my analog gear, but now with UAD and soft tube and waves, they're coming up with software that sounds so good that it's just like my analog gear. I know the sound of every piece of gear, and that's the way it's developing with software, where I just go, I'm looking for a certain sound, and I'm going to go to a certain plugin because that's the sound I'm looking for. It's not necessarily that the case that, well, you've emulated what I have already so well that I don't need to go to the hardware. But on the other hand, if I want a sound that I have in one of my racks, but I only have one of them, and I want to put it across 10, and I've got something in software that sounds just like that piece, and I can put it across 10 or 15 instruments, why not? And when there's software tools that you can never do with hardware. Isotope, repairing things. I mean, taking a click or a weird noise out of it, in the middle of a sustain that you just can't cross-cut and remove without some kind of bad artifact. Or you can RX, or you can go in and you look at it and go, there it is. You highlight it and you get rid of it. I mean, that's just brilliant stuff. There's no way I would even. There's no hardware that does that. Yes, there's a lot less 44.1 16-bit, and I'm happy for that, because it's way harder to get that top end smooth and wide and the bottom end to really fulfill the low end of the record. There's some records where it's 192, and it's usually some kind of a blues record or something where all this is really important, that you get your full bandwidth and spectrum, and it's pleasing. It reminds me a lot more of how a multi-track, a well-recorded multi-track would come to me. There wasn't any kind of a ceiling that I would notice, or I'd be distracted by something going on that didn't seem to have its full bandwidth. Takeoff and landing. Well, takeoff, you have to find the essence of the song quickly and capture that. And then once you're in the air, once you've got going, you're going somewhere, you're going towards a sound, that's good. Landing, and then you got to turn it into a record. It's that last 10%. Got to land that sucker, and you got to get the artist to be really, really happy. That's the landing.